Have you ever been playing Dungeons and Dragons and a player just pulls out a move that's absolutely next level? It could be in combat, it could not be in combat. For me specifically, this happened not in combat, it happened in downtime, and it was an absolutely campaign-changing, earth-shattering move. So what do you do when this happens? Do you just say awesome at the table in that moment, everybody has at the table of that wow moment? Is that enough? Because for me, it's not. In general, I do use inspiration, so there's different moments like this that happen at a smaller scale than the one in question, and I give out inspiration. That's a whole separate topic for a whole separate thing. But what if it's even more than that? Something that even an inspiration wouldn't feel justified for, and you want to do something next level to truly give an in-game mechanical advantage to that player for that move. So on that note, you don't even have to use inspiration to be able to use this rule, because I know most people don't use inspiration, which is sad to me. I have a whole system for it. Stay tuned for that. But this is called a hero token. So what is a hero token? How does it work? And why should you add this to your game? So how it works is I'm out. Mammoth Chronicles is a brand new Kickstarter from Mammoth Factory. And this one's super unique because they have two huge pillars of adventures and miniatures. And who doesn't love that? They have a full book of over 250 pages with 8 adventures that are short plug and play adventures you can put into any campaign. And they also have over 100 STL files of miniatures that go alongside it. They printed some off for me to show you guys, and my god, the detail on these things are next level. And this is the coolest beholder miniature that I've ever seen, and an aboleth. But if you're like me and don't have a 3D printer, they still got you covered. You have paper printouts that you can use, virtual tabletop tokens you can plug into something like Roll20, and don't forget about those adventures. 30 battle maps, 50 magic items, 30 NPC cards, the list goes on. Check out their Kickstarter. It just launched literally today, but it's only available for a few weeks, so check out the link in the description after this video. And thank you, Mammoth Factory, for sponsoring this video. Back to it. Okay, how it works is once you give a player a hero token, they can then, at that point, from any point of the game, they have one token that they can turn in place of any D20 roll. Once they turn it in, it's gone. They can't use it again unless they do something else amazing. But I've only ever given out literally one of these, and I made this up for the sake of how crazy this thing was. I love the moment and concept. I wanted to share it with you guys. So whenever they turn in this coin in place of a roll, instead of rolling, they do this is a natural 20. It's an on-demand natural 20. Now, if you think that's crazy and sounds crazy, I know, I'm with you, but there's a stipulation to it that changes it and makes it awesome. Because first of all, the player that you're giving this to deserves it, and they have earned this ability to choose a moment that they have to be able to, instead of rolling, just grant themselves a natural 20. If it wants to be an attack for a really huge moment, they can have it be an attack roll. If it wants to be some sort of check that they're doing towards something or persuading someone, they can do that. But here's the big stipulation, because in general, I hate mechanics that switch out rolls for automatic stuff. I don't like the automatic, the feat that rogues get, that they just get a passive thing of, oh, you can just get a 10. Reliable talent or whatever. I don't like those mechanics. But with this, the stipulation is you cannot first roll and then choose to use the token. This has to be so big of a moment for this character, so big and important of a thing for this character, that they stop and they're like, wait a second. Do I use this token? And the reason they have to stop and think so much is that I do not give these hero tokens out. I've only ever given out one, and this is such an important, rare thing that this is not going to be something that they probably ever get again. So this is something they really have to hold on to. And I, as a dungeon master, am super interested to see when they use it. This stipulation here is the same stipulation I put onto the Lucky Feet fix that I did, that in my opinion is a fix. Because Lucky, you roll and oh, it's bad, so then you spin the luck dice and hey, you just increase your rolls all the time. No. I think the importance of Lucky is being able to be good at certain parts of the game that you really want to have happen, because most of the time people use these re-roll situations in that moment. So I have luck be something you choose before you roll and you grant yourself advantage because the character really wants to do good in this one certain thing. So instead of a passive fail safe of just like, oh, if I fail I can use this token, or oh, lucky, or whatever, they actually have to choose how important is this moment for this character. That's why I like the Lucky Feat change better, because it lets them really put impact on those moments before they happen. And for this hero token, there's only one of them, so I really want to see it. I used to have this hero token be a third D20 roll that you can add on to any moment. So instead of a lucky type reroll, it was just you can turn this in for another D20. I literally handed out a like golden looking D20 to the character. They had that D20 and they could choose to roll that on top of anything. But then the part that felt bad there is, Well, what if they roll that dice and it's like a 2 or something? So then that big, huge moment that they did, this big earth-shattering, campaign-changing moment that they did that I really want to reward them for, that would feel terrible if it hit a 2. And this moment that she did was so crazy, I had to have this reward be a guaranteed boost, and a natural 20 is the best thing you got. So when would you hand something like this out? Because this is not anything to scoff at, and this is a moment in a campaign that happens maybe once per campaign, maybe twice, max 3 times per campaign, when a player does something absolutely huge. What this means for me is that whenever a player transcends the campaign, almost like they're looking at the campaign bird's eye view, they see the big picture and they make a move of maybe self-sacrifice or maybe some sort of thing that ties into the theme of your campaign. I usually have a secret theme that I have for every single one of my campaigns. It's some sort of moral of the story type thing, some sort of big picture, and this player absolutely hit the nail on the head. The theme of this campaign is we are better when we come together and we can accomplish more together than we ever could apart. During this character's entire month of downtime, she only focused on the others around her, and even when asked specifically, what do you want for your character, she said, no, I'm just going to be there for everyone else around me. Now there's a lot more to that story that I'm going to share with you guys in a few weeks. I'm doing these new rant videos here to share an insight into actual real campaign moments that you can take and put into your own. But what the character did in this moment was an exact mirrored replication of the big echoes of what's happening at the big stage with the BBEG and all these other things. This is going to look different for everyone's campaigns, but all I can tell you is you're going to know that moment whenever something happens and a player pulls out some move and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And if you give them a hero token in that moment, it makes the impact of that amazingness set in even more. And watch out for what you do hand this out for, because you are setting the tone of some sort of incentivization, which is a lot of why people don't like inspiration, because you're giving carrots on a stick of incentivizing them to play a certain way. But this isn't necessarily playing a certain way to me. You could ask anyone at that table, and it wasn't a me thing. That was a moment of like, oh my gosh, wow. So we're not talking about like, oh, they role played really well, and I like whenever people role play. Oh, in combat they made a really cool move, and I really like combat as a dungeon man. It has nothing to do with that. It transcends everything. So because you have this one big moment where everyone's like, oh my God, yes, and you give them this token to even further reward that, when that player then uses that token, it's, oh wow, that it's all connected. And I cannot wait to see what she uses it on. And I gotta clarify one more time, it is so important that you have them declare this before the roll. This whole hero token would feel real bad if it was just like, oh, I failed I really want, okay, hero token. Like, no, this is, what is the moment that you want to use this on? Oh yeah, and this is the token I use. I have this on like my Amazon shop, links down in the description. This is the little thing I found on Amazon, these little cool little golden coins. I used to use poker chips or an actual D20 that I just hand them a certain D20 so that they'd know that they have this thing. I like to give out something physical, but if you do it online, you could easily come up with a screenshot of something and just show them that and say that they have it. And if you want to hear the story of what this player exactly did to literally break my campaign, she broke the campaign. I had to completely do so many things because of this thing that she did. It never happened before. That video is going to drop 2 weeks from now. If you like these little homebrew excerpts from my brain and my own campaigns that I want to share with you guys to use in yours, let me know down below. And until next time, stay creative, think outside the box. Peace.